turned on the news and he saw like all disappointed like
I'm like Charlie in front of the board here, where I'm like, it's right there. It's X-Men 97 better than the animated?
Would say yes.
We gotta have some, we want to have some real heart to hearts, or maybe get in the danger room and work it out.
And he's also still, his human side that
flawed. I like that, and that's like a theme of the whole thing, pretty much. From Cyclops, from Professor on down.
Mr. Sinister's in the intro to the show because Mort is frightened of him. Was kind of our window into existing with the X-Men.
This could have been an end of episode cliffhanger. They're like, sorry guys, I just found out that's the real Gene. Dun dun dun. Oh, well. Look what the spider dragged in.
Oh, man, that's appropriate. Very appropriate.
Oh, man, we are back. Mm-hmm. And I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. Is there some new X-Men episodes happening right now? Wait a minute. X-Men 97 is back and I wasn't informed? Wait a minute. Bo DeMayo's Twitter's on fire again?
Nah, none of that.
Why they're back?
None of that. We gotta get that content, baby.
We on a content mission. So all things Marvel Universe are on the table, baby. So my man Marcos got the call. Marcos the plug said, "Hey yo, do you want to watch this new Spider-Man thing going down?" I said, "Absolutely." Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is an animated series that just started, and it looks really good. So of course I wanted to see it. I was very, very excited to see it. And they dropped the first 2 episodes. So we're going to talk about them. So here we are, taking a little break from all things X-Men and X-Pod, but still in the same world, as you'll see. We'll get into some things maybe later on where you'll see that it's all connected.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm really already, from the moment I watched the trailer, I love the animation style. I love that it looks like the old 80s, 70s, 80s comics. It just looks really, really vintage, but they brought it up to date. So I wasn't actually sure when it started. I was like, well, what's the time period? And then I started seeing like the cell phones and things like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. But so it's in today's world, but with a very old school animation style.
Yep. Like the animation was basically based on the comics. Like a lot of the characters, we see some familiar faces, but the way that they're drawn and their style is very throwbackish.
Yes, it is. So for the next maybe 10 weeks, because there are 10 episodes, we are going to break down what happens and what we think about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So we're back, y'all. Don't worry. Don't worry. Still powered by the almighty Geekscape Network. We will be back weekly to give you a little bit of a break from X-Men, but a little entrance into Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is now going to be showing weekly on where?
Disney Plus. Always.
Disney Plus, baby. All right. So I must ask, Disney Plus just had a price hike. I think Netflix just had a price hike. What's going on? Are you taking all these price hikes? Are we just dealing with it at this point? Is that what we got to do?
Well, officially, we are going to say that we are dealing with it, but I'm not. Hey, if people out there, hitting the high seas, that's on them. I know I'm not. But sometimes
I understand at this point, man, because like Netflix without commercials is like $26 now. Like it's like that crazy now for each of these. So I understand like people may be seeking some alternate methods.
Do you remember when people were all about cutting the cord? Now keeping the cord is might be a lot cheaper than cutting it.
I might want the cord back, man. Like this is too much. So if we can be honest, out of all the streaming services, what's the one where you're like, I'm not getting it, or I had it and then I let it go?
I'll what?
Say for me, it was Paramount Plus.
Jesus Christ, you read my mind. That was the same one. But
because they had some stuff I liked, but I was just like, yo, first of all, Halo didn't really move me, so that kind of pushed me off. I was like, Halo wasn't good, so I'm like, all right, y'all had your one chance. I'm out of here.
Here's the thing: Paramount Plus keeps getting renewed. I keep forgetting to go in and turn it off. And this is my reminder to myself today. I'm gonna do it. It's like, man, it's like, what the hell's going on? But there's
Sorry,
other.
Paramount. I just took $17 from y'all, but I didn't mean to do that. But y'all be all right. Yeah, man, that's the one where even when I had it, I didn't really watch it. I mean, the Star Trek stuff on there was cool. But
They
yeah,
did
that
drop
was
a new movie that was exclusive to them.
yeah, that was
I think
cool.
it's Section 31. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. We might see it on another podcast. Who knows?
Who knows? All right. So before we get into Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I want to talk about some things that we might have found in a new segment that I literally just made up called Around the Web.
Yep.
And as a play on words, because it might be around the spider web, but also around the interwebs.
Oh,
So I want to bring up something that I've seen on the internet that I couldn't believe. And it was actually your fault, you and K Murdoch, this weekend at MagFest. Shout out to everybody at MagFest, by the way. Good, brought up like in passing as we're just walking in the cold. And somebody brought up something called Beast Games. And I was like, what the heck is Beast Games? So, Marcos, can you briefly explain Beast Games?
so brief explanation of Beast Games. Beast Games is Mr. Beast. If you guys know him from his internet antics, not the bad news, but the good news where he gives people money. And at first I was like, where's the hook? Where's the scam? But as far as I know, he's doing all these giveaways. So now Amazon gave him his own show, which they build as the show that has the biggest prize for their audience or whatever, their participants. It's crazy because they're giving away massive amounts of money starting with episode 1.
Oh, it's
And
crazy.
and we had a brief conversation that's continued over the past few days that honestly I thought I was a man of character, but I'm gonna let you
You know what?
continue. But that show just
Look,
like,
man,
oh, I am
it
like I
really
am.
lets you know what kind of person you are. But
Yeah,
surprisingly, they found the people with the biggest hearts in the world because these people are one, refusing to sell each other out, two, volunteering to leave with nothing. Like there's some crazy stuff happening on the show. So you think, all right, if the grand prize is $5 million, you assume, oh, if they're gonna do little prizes here and there, it might be like 25,000, maybe 50,000. No, he literally offers $1 million for
very
one
early
person
in the
early in the
season.
game, episode 2, to sell out their entire group. And I won't give it away, but it's very surprising how many people are like, nah, I'm here for the big money. And it's like, that's life-changing money. What are you talking about? And you don't know these people. Like the whole thing of people being like, I'm no sellout. You can't buy me. I can't be bought. It's like, I think I can. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, that's
Ted DiBiase was right, man. I got a price.
yeah, my price. I definitely would have been like, oof, yeah, you guys all go home. I don't know you guys because I feel like they had like between the first 2 episodes, I don't even think they stayed the night yet. So these people literally just met each other earlier that day.
Yeah.
You know what? They basically say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. And people on the show might have never heard that. So for those of you guys that are really young, that basically means is it's better to have something already that you already have than to risk it for something better. And these people had tangible money in their hand.
But these people live by another saying: no risk it, no biscuit.
Nah.
And but actually the biscuit was already there in your hand, and then you risked it. So, and for people you don't even know, it's insane. So anyway, I highly recommend it. I'm not even into reality game show type things, but I started watching it. It's like Squid Game, but like nowhere near as like gross and dangerous. But like it's like that. Like it's really weird. Like people have to make decisions, and it's interesting watching Mr. Beast turn to a villain arc. He seems to be a good guy, but I really think this is his villain arc because he's like, yeah, all y'all best friends. It's a shame though that you got to eliminate one of your best friends. Like,
yeah, it's
he turns into a complete madman throughout the course of the show. So by the end, he'll be freaking Elon Musk. I don't know, but it's really fun to watch. So check it out if you get some time in between, of course, episodes of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Now let's get into it.
Yep.
And I want to start off right off the top with a big plus to the music. I got to shout out the Math Club featuring Relay and Mello for doing a cool little flip on the old Spider-Man theme song. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. So it's always cool to see the old become new again. They put some dope lyrics on it, made it a real fun, catchy joint. I can't wait till that's streaming. I want to check it out some more. I want to hear it a little closer, maybe even rap over it a little bit.
Hopefully we get a visual. Hopefully we get a visual of it.
I would like to see a visual. But yes, I really dig the music. So of course, like I said, animation style is incredible. We start off, we immediately get the beginning of Spider-Man. But as we know, we've seen the beginning of Spider-Man approximately 200 times at this point in our lives.
Yep.
So they decided to give it to us a little bit different. So how did they do it this time, Marcos?
So basically, you have the dynamic from the beginning of the episode. We kind of got the feeling that Aunt May and Peter have been by themselves recently, and it's like new school year, and he's excited to go to this brand new school, which is presented as Midtown High, which is supposed to be this robotics school that is amazing. He gets there. First of all, he misses his bus or whatever he missed. And then Aunt May drops him off. And then he gets there, and as he's walking away after giving Aunt May a hug, a familiar portal opens up. And for those of you that are Marvel fans, it's the gold circle, and out drops what I think is a symbiote that is inhabited an alien. And then Doctor Strange follows him right behind, chasing after this this villain, this monster, whatever you're going to call it. But then immediately following them, you see a little spider. This is dropping down from that golden circle, the portal, that is just hanging there. We don't see it. It doesn't make its appearance immediately, but it's there and immediately catches your eye as an audience member. So what did you think? When you first saw that opening, you like they teased the suit because he opened the bag after he missed the bus, and then he was just looking at his sandwich. He was like, this
is gross.
Yeah.
Also, there was another little tease when he gets into the car with Aunt May. Remember what was hanging on the mirror was an Iron Man plushie of him flying. So maybe a little hint. But first of all, it sets the scene perfectly for us to know this is present day New York, Earth 616 or whatever, where the Avengers exist in this world. And this is a moment right before Spider-Man becomes who he is. So that's pretty cool to see. We know that not only they exist, but they're a big part of society, like to the point where they got toys being made of them. So seeing that and then seeing the spider, I was like, oh, that's a different way of doing it. Like I said, we've seen the spider 700 times on the hand while he's in the lab. Something like that. It gets out of a thing. So the symbiote drops it off apparently, or comes through the portal somehow, and it gets him. And then it still lives and it's still walking around. And I think gets onto his backpack.
No, so it appears a student that we don't see who it is. It gets on his backpack, and we don't know where that spider is.
We don't know.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And when he got bit by a spider, it immediately kind of knocked him out. And then instead of them going through the whole, oh my gosh, I'm faster now, I'm stronger now, they fast forward several months later. He's got his first kind of crude Spidey suit, which you see in the background there. He's got his first crude web shooters. He's understands who he is, what he's doing. He's kind of like you said, kind of a hero for hire at this point. He's kind of a just vigilante, just doing his thing for slices of pizza, you know, just trying to get by. He's not really necessarily trying to be a hero, but just trying to do the right thing in situations. So I enjoy it. I'm super enjoying it at this point. I like the fact that they skipped to the powers because, like I said, we've seen it. And
he's
him building it, him falling off buildings. Like, we don't need to see all that stuff.
We've seen it in other mediums. We've seen it in the previous cartoons. I believe this is a 12th edition of a TV show that they've done. And so, just to correct a little thing you said earlier, it's not in the 616. They're not clear. They say it's an alternate timeline in an alternate universe. So So who
All
knows?
right, so it's not
Whether
616, which is our Earth. It's
yep,
it's an alternate. Okay. All right, my bad. All right. In school, but now that they're in a new school, he's trying to make friends. He's running into people he's into. This girl, Grace. He's got a friend. And then Grace gets a boyfriend who is the captain of the football team, Lonnie Lincoln. Now you point out that Lonnie Lincoln is a villain named Tombstone. You can
correct.
look him up. He's identified as an albino in his description. So maybe at some point something maybe happens to him. I don't know. But for
So
right now, he's mad cool.
yeah,
So
like super nice, like to the point that when Spider-Man is like basically wants his girl, he's like fawning over her. It's like, bro, chill. Like this guy has no bad parts of him, at least from what we've seen. It's like, bro,
no,
don't dirty Mac on Lonnie, man.
nah, man. Let Lonnie live, man. He needs so I like the fact that Lonnie picks Peter as a science partner. And even his friend says, "Oh, he just gonna want you to do all the work because he's the big dumb jock." And he's like, "Nah, man, I know just as much as you. I just know you're smart. So let's do this." And it turns out they have so much in common,
Mhm.
which is probably worse for Peter to be like, "Wow, I really like his
Well,
girl." But
like
at the
he's
same
better than
time,
he's a better person.
so
Like
maybe if it was 20, if you would have tried 24 hours earlier, you might have actually got the girl.
yeah,
And because they're into the same things. And
yeah.
Lonnie's a better person than you, Peter.
Like it's funny because I like that they show Lonnie you know a day in the life of him. Like he leaves school, he's the big jock and he's also smart. And when he leaves, he has this long commute, and then you kind of get a glimpse into his world. Like, the way they drew him, of course, he's like, I believe he's like 6'4", has the cornrows, and then like even people on the subway are like looking at him weird and moving. And then he's walking in his neighborhood for no reason. A PDNY, not NYPD, cruiser with their lights on is like shining a light on him, staring at him, and he gets in,
Yeah.
you meet his family, and he's like the do-it-all good son that's the glue of this family that's trying to make it, because they live in very very meager means. I mean, not that bad because it looks like they live in a home or whatever and all this stuff, but he's a working man.
Yeah,
And
it gives me the impression that something bad's going to happen. Like he's going to catch a raw deal.
yeah,
And unfortunately, that's going to maybe turn him, into the bad guy we know. But as of right now, he's just like a super good dude that we
and
only want good things for, which is
for
kind of
those
crazy.
for those of you guys that never seen Tombstone, if you go back to the previous Spider-Man 96, or 98, or I don't know, one of the Spider-Man, the original Fox one that aired with X-Men 97,
Hmm.
he actually made his appearance on all the Blade episodes. And it was funny because he's always been a black character, and then they're like Blade, and it's like, oh yeah, brother, like it's funny
Uh,
as hell.
they got to throw him in with the black. The
Yeah,
same old wrestling WWE tricks.
yep, yep, yep,
Get a black guy, you got to fight a black guy. Oh,
yep. I
wow.
mean, all the wrestling at this point.
It's kind of like that. It's just what happens. Anyway, so things are moving. Then we end off the first episode with a bit of a cliffhanger. With Spidey or Peter coming home, and then he's offered a job by Norman. Now, I'll flash back a little bit to the fact that we get to meet Harry, just kind of coincidentally, whereas Harry's a best friend throughout most of Spider-Man lore. He just kind of runs into this dude on like, I'm saving you from, I guess, getting beat up. I don't know. So Harry has some weird decisions made with his haircut,
Yep,
but
yep.
outside of that, seemed like a cool dude. They haven't showed them yet like meet back up, but his dad, coincidence or not, I don't know, his dad winds up literally at his house trying to offer him a job. So here we are with the cliffhanger.
So basically, you get the callback from the Spider-Man No Way Home, or the original Spider-Man. Sorry, that was Captain America Civil War, where we meet Spider-Man and Tony Stark So basically, they swapped them out.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he's getting offered a job that will maybe ship him up and shape him up into a real hero. Who knows? We don't really know what the job is going to consist of. But that pretty much ends the episode. I really love this episode. I think they got right into everything they needed to get to. Didn't really waste any time. It was about 26 minutes, but it felt even shorter than that. Like it just moved so fluidly. They didn't
Great
waste time on
pacing.
stuff we already knew. Animation was great. Music choices was dope. I like the comic book style where panels start getting used when you want to see both the bad guy and Spidey. You get that comic book panel type situation happening.
Yep.
I think stylistically, it's one of the prettiest things I've seen in a long time. I really like it. I'm gonna give this thing an A, or if I had to count how many web shooters out of a possible 5 web shooters, I'm giving this 5 out of 5 web shooters. What do you
So
think?
am I. So am I. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5. It was a good reintroduction because remember, we haven't had a proper adult Spider-Man show, or like not even adult, like a Spider-Man show that's not geared to young children. Unlike Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which is I believe on what I think the Disney Channel. It's one of the kids shows.
Oh yeah.
But this was actually cool. I like the animation and the cliffhanger. And then it was funny because I'm a weirdo and I notice everything is when Norman got up. Why was he fixing his shirt? What was Norman and
Yeah, you know what? I have to wonder that. You know what I mean? Maybe that'll get answered later. Like you come in and this dude is turned around, and he's like
he's like, oh, hold
his-
on.
adjusting. Like why are you adjusting in my house, dog? Like what's the problem?
And Aunt May I believe she looks even younger than she did in the live action movies.
Yeah, they just keep making her like younger and younger.
Yeah.
So in this timeline, where would you guess? How far are they from Uncle Ben at this point?
You know what? Honestly, I haven't, because we both got this far or whatever into the show at the same time. I honestly, if they come out and say that she never actually had that a husband, that there was no Uncle Ben, and she was kind of like Spider-Man's parents passed, and then she was the next of kin that was old enough to take him in. I could accept that, but who knows? I don't even know. I haven't really done a lot of research.
No, just out of the guess, like we're like just based on how they interact, how everything is. There's no like overarching, lingering sadness. You know what I mean? They didn't have any moments like, I know you're still sad about Ben. You know what I mean? Like none of that's happened. So I feel like it's a long time ago, if it happened at all.
I'm gonna say, just because I like controversy, I'm gonna say that Uncle Ben didn't exist in this world.
Oh, okay. All right. We shall see. All right. So that wraps up episode 1. But you know how Disney does. They give you a twofer. So I hope you stayed up and watched the second episode as well, because we're about to give it to you. And it's happening right now. But first, a word from our sponsor, aka Marcos.
Hey, this is Marcos. Thanks for supporting the XPod 97. We now have merch, y'all. Grab a t-shirt, grab a sticker, grab a hoodie, or even get a mug for one of your relatives or something. I don't know. Rep the greatest X-Men podcast on the planet. We love doing what we do, and we want to continue bringing you weekly episodes. So don't forget to rate us and always subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest drops. Thanks again. We appreciate everything. See ya next time.
Word up. Also, we might need to make a new shirt and put like a spider web or something behind it.
Yep.
Just to kind of put them all together. I think that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I'll think about that.
So,
all right, episode 2, which is entitled
The Parker Luck?
The Parker Luck.
Yep.
Which has a lot to do with a lot. But Peter Parker, hopefully this is something they'll work on showing is his maturity as this goes on. He makes a lot of decisions in general, but especially in this episode where you're like, yo, like, is this important to you or not? Like, you really have to buckle down. And so this is why the idea of being a superhero is so crazy, because you get pulled in so many directions and you want to be there for everybody, but you also have to be there for yourself. So he gets offered this amazing opportunity. Norman says, yo, I take care of my people. He comes in, waves glistening, spinning. You know what I mean? Fresh suit,
But hold on.
spinning.
So can we talk about when he offered him, Spider-Man or Peter was like, cool. And he's like, what? Like, I'm just offering. He's like, cool. And then by the third time, Norman was like, bro, I'm giving you a life-changing thing. And he's like, oh my God, wait, you really offered it? That was funny. I like
Yeah, it's like he was in another world. Like, I get it. He's like, yo, I can't even believe. There's a lot of that, kind of like the imposter syndrome, where he doesn't believe that he belongs in all these cool situations, which is normal, for teenagers. So yeah, man, he comes to he gets to finally show up at the office. He's late by being early, but not early enough. And like instantly everybody hates him. Like, this is just a terrible experience from the start. Everybody he runs into got something to say,
they're really mean.
especially his Dr. Whitman, who I guess I don't know what to necessarily call him, his position, but Dr. Whitman was like the worst of them all. Like, this dude had no love for Peter. I think maybe Peter coming in like as a new kid to this program made them all kind of look at him like, whatever, dog, you ain't special. Like, and showing up late, it didn't look good. So when you come in with that kind of baggage on your back, it's like parents of children of color have to tell them all the time, like, you got to work twice as hard. You got to be double early, double tough, double nice in order to get the same treatment you deserve. And in that situation, man, one thing you don't do is literally leave because there's a fire happening.
and then granted, like, here's the thing that I took issue when they saw it on the news. I was just like, don't do it. Like, I literally, because we watched this together, I was like, don't do it. And then he sure enough did. Like, I'm a different person. I guess I'm weird, because I would have been like, when I got there and then the villain said, listen, there's nobody in this building, I would have been like, cool, I'm out. Like, this is a fire department, investigation. Like,
exactly.
Nobody here to save.
100%. But nah, Spider-Man oh, did I knock you out? Oh, did I? You know what I mean? Like, now you got to stick around and knock him out. Like, for what? Let them burn this empty building and move on with your life. So, big mistakes by Peter all over this episode. And I was just like, come on. You mentioned another big mistake when he literally goes into the bathroom and changes into his spider costume.
No. He goes into the staircase of a building that has security all over and cameras.
Yes.
And I said, that staircase has a camera.
And sure enough, that comes back to bite him later. What else happens in this episode? Oh,
well,
he doesn't get
introduced to Carla Connors, a college swap of Doc Connors. I assume she's a Hispanic a woman there, and it was cool. You can tell she immediately bonds with him, because she even lies for homie. Like, you know what I mean?
She don't even know him, and she tried to shoot him some bail. Yeah. Like, that was very nice. Like, she did not have to do that. So I thought that was cool. She really tried for him. Oh man. So again, he makes a big mistake, in my opinion, by leaving to go to put out this fire. They also give you a little bit of a message in the fire part. I forget the guy's name. I think it was like Butane or something, the fire villain, who says, oh, I'm just here to burn this down so that we can start, building some high rises over here and this and that, and get this dump, make it look nice and make people a lot of money. So we
basically got redlining
happening. And they mentioned it. Now, maybe that's what got Peter to get up, because how he said that, like, she said all the buildings on this block were red tagged or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's what made him be like, oh, okay. So there's some sort of motive to this.
In this universe, or in any universe, red tagging means that these are rent controlled buildings. So if you live there, they can't go up and they can't go down. So it's like, if it's premium space, and I know living in New York City that I saw that happen, where buildings that, you know, my godfather lived in, a very nice building across the park and Lower East Side. And that neighborhood for a while, it looked completely different. And the building that him and a bunch of people that I knew growing up eventually got bought, and everybody got a little bag, a nice
Mhm.
bag, but it was like they were standing their ground because they were literally a couple blocks away from a very good school, and everything around them was updated. But you know, just with changes, so did the neighborhood, and you know, there
Mhm.
was Starbucks where there was used to be a bodega, like stuff like that. But
Yep.
that happens. That happens in a lot of neighborhoods. It's like neighborhoods that were neglected like decades ago are now like, oh, this seems like a cool spot. Let's switch this up. Let's put a high rise here.
Yeah. So we're seeing a lot of real world issues come into the show that definitely wouldn't have been in the 70s and 80s or even 90s shows. So that's kind of interesting. We're seeing economics come into play. One from Lonnie, how he's living, the things he's going through in his everyday life.
And
Like,
even the school that he's at, that you could tell that, you know, Midtown High was seen as prestigious, and then all of a sudden, the school that he's going to now, it's kind of like just his own school for most of these kids, and they had to adapt. And then this episode, they also gave us a small line dialogue between Nico and Peter, where she asked him like, "Why are you working with Norman Osborn?" So Norman Osborn is already seen as the weirdo tech billionaire, not in the same Tony Stark like yo, this guy's up to something type deal. So
hmm yeah, she was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" You know, and if I see you, what did she say? If I see you go get a job at Roxxon Oil, then it's over. Like,
yeah,
you know, basically like you going to the dark side. And
yep.
he's like, "Yo, I need these interns. I need these internships. I need hours, you know."
And I need
So
this bread, boy.
eat this red. So you mentioned Nico. We didn't get a chance to talk about her. Nico seems to be the best friend role in this. She's been playing a pretty good role, you know, just kind of razzing him when he deserves it,
Yep.
being there for him. Do you see this maybe becoming a love interest situation, or are we going to get an actual Mary Jane later on in this show?
I
Your prediction?
My prediction, honestly, I think this is gonna run its course the way that they did the first Spider-Man movie with the latest version of Spider-Man. That this is gonna be the man on the couch for him. Like this is gonna be the best friend, you know,
Mhm.
that he currently has. And then I think eventually it might go down this path, but I think right now he's locked in on old girl that he basically likes. I believe what is
Oh, Grace. No, no, not
great
Grace. Pearl.
Pearl. Yeah, I think that's gonna be his love interest for a while. Oh,
Right.
so we alluded earlier if May Parker if there was an Uncle Ben. According to the release notes, she is a widowed aunt. They haven't
Okay.
really touched upon it, but they did declare her as a Peter's widowed aunt. So it looks like it might have happened really young because she's really young herself.
Okay. Um, there was a Reddit note in 2022 that Pearl Pangan was Peter Parker's love interest, and because they couldn't use Gwen or Mary Jane due to rights issues with Sony at the time. So they were the mention was that Pearl was going to become the love interest,
Hmm.
but I don't know if that actually wound up happening. But this is many years ago from the I guess it's the Spider-Man and Friends, one of the comic books or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, so and also she is Filipino American. She has a strong affinity for water, Olympic potential swimmer, and I'll leave it at that because I don't know exactly how far they're going to go with
Yep.
Pearl in this universe.
Yep.
So, all right, how do we rate? Oh, we didn't get to what was the cliffhanger on episode 2?
The
It was
cliffhanger was Rand. What did I correctly predict?
you predicted it. You said, "Why would you change in the stairwell?" And sure enough, he gets called to the principal's office, not the principal's office, but the actual boss's office, and they all think he's done for. He's going up to Norman Osborn's office. Osborn spins around, waves spinning, still 360s on glow. And he's like, so you're Spider-Man.
Yeah, but the way he like, yo, he's brooding. It's like, yo, my man, like, it
So
was
this isn't
crazy.
like, oh my God, oh my God. It's like, yeah, I'm about to find a way to take advantage of this.
Birdman hands rubbing, like, yeah.
I bet nobody else knows, but all they had to do was run cameras. Yeah. So that is where we end. I think that that's going to lead to Peter kind of being forced to stay at Oscorp, maybe do some things he doesn't want to do to kind of keep the secret, things like that. So he's going to be using he's probably going to wind up taking old boy's spot, Amadeus, in robotics.
Yes. First of all, Amadeus Cho, amazing. We got him in the second episode. For those guys that don't know, he was a version of the Hulk. I don't know where they're going with this. So
this is just basically he's going to build up enemies throughout this process.
Yep.
And people are just going to start hating him even more because now he got the boss kind of on his side. So just like he kept saying, like, oh, I just need to meet Mr. Osborn. I need to talk to him. Like, yeah, right. You funny. And then he's going to come back in and they're going to be like, what? You ain't fired? And
they introduced the Black Panther because, you know, Asha's from Wakanda. So.
Well, I thought she was going to say Shuri. I would have paused it and fell out of my chair. Like, come on, y'all. Don't be that obvious. I really thought it was going to be Shuri. But Asha is from Wakanda, and that was cool to see. So that not necessarily a Black Panther, but somebody that knows the Black Panther.
I mean, she's a resident. Like so to her, the Black Panther is not a fake thing. So
Right. So I like all the connections they made. All right. So I think this is another very solid episode. We're moving really, really, like, I think smoothly towards some conflict, beginning to build. I think this is another, you know what? No, it's not a 5 for me. This is a 4 web canisters for me because Peter Parker was dumb several times. And that's fair because maybe he's a freshman in high school. Maybe he is just dumb. But some of those things where I'm like, come on, dude. Like, you just maybe shouldn't do those things. So those things lead to storyline progression. So it's like, all right, I understand why it happens, but they don't really make a whole lot of sense. You know what I mean? Just in those moments. I don't know. What do you think? What do you rate it?
I rated a 4.5, a little bit higher. Like, I think this is just him being young and stupid, but like us as been following Marvel and Spider-Man practically our whole lives because there's always been a version of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. It's like, come on, man. You just want them to make one that is not making stupid mistakes. You know, it's not late to work. That's not broke. But I think they're going to stay the course with this. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I like it so far. I'm curious to see where it goes. There's been a bit of a news drop that I won't talk about, that there's a special guest voice actor that's going to pop up at some point. He hasn't yet. Someone relevant to our interests. So I won't talk about that too much, but I'm looking forward to seeing him and as well as seeing where the rest of the show goes. So keep on watching. Let us know what you think. Give us some comments about what you thought of the first 2 episodes. What do you predict? Where's Uncle Ben? Where's Tony Stark? What's happening in this universe? And what do you think will happen? This is a special X-Pod. So we will be giving you at least 10 episodes. Maybe not 10 because this is 2 here. So that'd be 9 at least. And then maybe a wrap up. And maybe we can get some of the folks on, some actors, some of the musicians. I don't know. We're going to reach out. So if you have any ideas of who you'd like to hear on the show, please let us know. I am at Megaran on all of your socials. This guy is at
The Sunset Kid 56.
Yeah, on all the socials. All right. I hope to see you around at a show or a wrestling event near you.
Yep.
I'm Megaran. That's Marcos. And this is a special X-Pod 97, a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
That was weird, but peace.
And we out of here.
Hey, this is Marcos. Thanks for supporting the X-Pod 97. we now have merch, y'all. Grab a t-shirt, grab a sticker, grab a hoodie, or even get a mug for one of your relatives or something. I don't know. Rep the greatest X-Men podcast on the planet. We love doing what we do, and we want to continue bringing you weekly episodes. So don't forget to rate us and always subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest drops. Thanks again. We appreciate everything. See ya next time.
All right. Ending the recording. Oh my God. End the recording, fool.